Today's real informal, y'all. I just got off the road traveling from New York. I'll get to why I was in New York a little later in the video. But did you figure out who I was talking about last week? Did you figure out who is one of my heroes? If you haven't, here's the answer. The answer is Miss Lisa Salters. And I just find it so ironic that this weekend, while I was in New York, my mother was watching a game. If y'all know me, y'all know I haven't watched a game since April 13th, 2016. And some of y'all know why. So I haven't watched the full games. I really haven't seen her in her element. But my mother was watching the game because she's still all about basketball. But anyway, she was watching the game and she worked. So I saw her just like, oh, how ironic. That's what I talked about last week. I wonder if anybody got it. So did you get it? I didn't get any comments on my video from last week. So probably not. But there's your answer. I know I said I would be talking about a person every week. But today, like I said, is a little different. Shout out to all the women out there. Thanks for watching. It's International Women's Day. That's what my shirt represents. Women, we are queens. You can get yours if you go to the link in the description. I will put the link in the description for you to order your shirt. Shout out to Chasing Checks for doing this real quick for me. But this weekend, I learned that I saw in action that your life matters. What you do in this life matters. How you behave in this life matters. What you do for others matters. What you do, not even because you are doing it for anybody. You're just being obedient to God, or you just want to do it. So I was in New York for the memorial service for my friend Stephen, and just to see that the church was packed, people literally standing outside for the service, or standing up on the walls inside the church, showed how his life mattered, showed how the effect he had on not just the people in his family, but his peers and in the city of Kingston. And it brought together literally the community, because I saw people that I have not seen in years. Talk to people that I really didn't talk to when I lived there, and made me change my thoughts about how I felt about some of those people. And I'm glad that I got to experience that. Yes, it was a somber occasion, but all in all, it felt good to see some of my friends. It felt good to see those people. It felt good to hug those people that I thought I would never hug in my life. It felt good to just smile amongst the sadness. And to laugh when you hear the stories about his life and how he meant to people, especially from his sons. Like, to see the strength of his sons get up there and talk about him and not really break down until they got to the end of what they had to say. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. And then to hear that what I have been through and my life has mattered to people, it's a beautiful thing as well. It was good to feel. It lifted my spirits because of the reason I went to New York. So one of my mother's co-workers, Miss Alex, shout out to Miss Alex, she recently lost her dog, and she's been really grieving. And in her grief, I guess she was looking around, and in her eyesight, she saw my book, and she picked it up and she started reading it. And she said how it helped her, how it's been helping her get through the grief process. And I just wrote it because I guess it was time to. Like I said, I never thought that I would write a book. I never thought that me having spina bifida would really change a person's life, or how they, not even going through spina bifida or dealing with spina bifida, may have changed or helped them going through anything in their life. But I guess it goes back to what I wrote in the book. Some of the stuff that we have gone through in our lives is sometimes not for us to learn anything, or not for us to get anything out of it. It's literally for people that know our story and see where we are outside of, or on the other side of the obstacle, on the other side of the turmoil, on the other side of the grief, or living through what we have to live through, because I live through having spina bifida. I can't get rid of it. And just to know that that's helping her in this state of this season in her life, it was good to know. So in my mother's greatness, she surprised Miss Alex by having me come out to the job to surprise her, for her to meet me and for her to tell me herself how the book has changed her life. And it felt good to hear that, because sometimes when you are going through the stuff because you're going through life, and you just feel like you're the only one going through it, because I've been through it. I feel like I'm going through it. I'm going through it by myself, but I know I'm not. I know I'm not, but it just feels like dag. But just to know that the things that I'm going through or have gone through and been able to make it out, even though I am currently in some things I'd rather not be in, that it's helping somebody else in their situation. All glory goes to God for being the author of my book. I was just a vessel. He gave me this life. He allowed me to be born with spina bifida. And even though I don't always understand, I don't always know what he's doing or where he's leading me, I'm glad that 8 years ago, on tomorrow's date, I made the profession on my own, to walk down the aisle to give the Lord my life. Even though I've been in church all my life, just making that profession, that confession and profession of my faith on my own, not because my mother told me to, not because somebody beat it over my head to go, you're going to walk down this aisle, you're going to give your life to the Lord. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. I would say that was another thing that I wasn't thinking about doing. I didn't go to church that Sunday, March 9th, 2014, saying, okay, I'm going to go and walk and give the Lord my life. If you see my video from last year, you know what stirred that in my spirit to do, because he spoke to my heart. Shout out to Tanya. That's one of my favorite songs, Speak to My Heart. Shout out to Donnie McClurkin. Yeah, Donnie McClurkin. Shout out to him for that song. And it just worked out that March 9th, 2014, I made the profession on my own that I accept the Lord, my Savior, as the Lord and Savior of my life. Like I said, it hasn't been easy. It has not been easy. Because life is hard. Life is hard. But with Him, they say, you try to believe that it's easier with Him, but I wouldn't know anything else. Because I've always felt like I've been walking with Him or Him near me. So living life without Him, I couldn't imagine how or what I would be doing or how I would be coping without Him at the center and the head over my life. So I thank my mother for instilling that in me, for growing us up in the church, because that's one of the best decisions that she ever did, because it helps make it, I guess it does make it helps make life a little easier, even though you still cry, you still question, you still fuss, you still carry on, you still yell. But you're human. We are still human. Christians are still human. We still act like humans, y'all. There's no magic to how we live. But with God in our lives, it's a little easier. And it's just my hope and prayer that I continue with my testimony, that as I continue to live, that my testimony, whether you read the book or whether you just meet me and hear my story, or I get to tell you my story, that it makes you want to know God and get to know Him and accept Him into your life, because it would be one of the best decisions you ever made. That's all I have. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be the daylight in someone else's life, and enjoy the daylight in yours. And I will see y'all next week with another tidbit and some more facts about one of my favorite women.